Hello everybody, this is Sir Wolf and welcome to a brand new series. The game we're going to be playing today is Space Engineers. The basic idea behind this game is it's a voxel-based building game, kind of like Minecraft, but in my opinion a little bit better. Nothing knock Minecraft. I love Minecraft. I've been playing it for years, but personally I kind of prefer Space Engineers. Uh, this series, we're going to have two se- uh, two series of Space Engineers going. One is going to be this one. It's going to be a tutorial. Um, it'll kind of introduce some of the blocks can be kind of intimidating. At least I think can be kind of intimidating to new players. And what we're going to be doing in this series is introducing players to various blocks and what they do and how to combine them to make cool things, new things, and kind of get people comfortable with some of the more, for lack of a better word, advanced blocks. Um, the other series we're going to be running will be showcasing mostly ships and bases, either suggested by you guys or found by me. Some cases built by me. I'll also be taking building challenges and suggestions on that one. Um, if anybody's got trouble with something, you can go ahead and refer me to it. So let's go ahead and get into the very basics of what we're getting into today. Okay, everybody. The first thing we're going to get into today is a control panel. A control panel is actually pretty simple. It's basically the access panel for all the blocks on your ship. In this case, this one is the tutorial platform we're on is very simple. I've only got 8 things, but from here I can access and control and modify and do whatever it is I want to do, whatever it is I need to do to these items. At the top of the screen, you'll also notice I've got um, different tabs. The inventory tab is pretty self-explanatory. You've got player tab. You've got if I had anything in um, storage crates, it'd be showing up here. Production, if I had anything, they're called assemblers. They make stuff. If I had any assemblers on the ship, they would show up here. And info. This is important um, if you're trying to balance weight and power, or you want to find out, man, do I have enough thrusters? Do I have any spotlights? Do I have any fill in the blank? What basically it gives you the information on whatever whatever object, whatever player made object the control panel is attached to. And you can do things here. I can convert to a station if I want to convert to the station, convert to a ship. Right now, apparently, it thinks we're a ship, so I'm gonna go ahead and convert it to a station because I don't want to go anywhere. But if I was a ship, it tells me um, how heavy I am, how many artificial masses. We'll get into those later. How many grav generators I have, spotlights, lights, thrusters, so on and so forth. And we're not going to worry about a lot of that right now. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we're on a station. It can also show if you want to, figure out if you're building, say a rover, and you want to find out what's the chances of it going to tip over. It can show center of mass. You can show how far, if you have a station or a ship or something, how far out does your gravity field go? How far do you need to go to hit zero gravity? Um, you can look at the range of any sensors you have, and this way you can kind of adjust the sensors and go, oh, that one's looking too far, that one's not looking far enough. Um, Antenna, you can basically see how far your antenna signal will go, and each of these, you know, each of these we'll get into a lot of these. For now though, let's see, ship name. We're Large Grid 676. We're gonna go ahead and rename this to Tutorial Platform. This way, we know what we're on. Factions. you'll have space pirates. They're basically they're the bad guys. They kind of, if you're playing by yourself, if you're playing offline in single player or something, and you're in a survival mode, they kind of, it gives you something to run from, to it gives you something to have to survive against. YouTube game, that's us. Um, that's our faction. That's just to kind of show, you can. I mean, you can make. I'll leave this faction and I can make it. I can make it again if I wanted to. Tag YouTube game or YTG name YouTube game. Public info is we are. I can't type today. We are YouTubers. We generally has an E in it. Private info. We are the best. Now, assuming I was playing on a public server, anybody who goes to factions and goes through and goes, oh, YouTube game, what's that about? Hey, I click on that. They'll be able to see, we are YouTubers. If they're not a member, they won't be able to say it says we are the best. Here it says we'll always accept peace. If factions can sometimes go to war with each other, and if one side says, "Man, we just want peace," you can say, "Look, I always accept peace," or "I don't accept peace." Generally, except if you don't have it on, you'll see people. Like I said, if I was playing on a open multiplayer server, you'd be seeing more of this. Some of this is actually built specifically for multiplayer. I'm just kind of going over it real quick right now. But you'll see pending members. If you clicked accept everyone, they'll just automatically be into it. Comms, again, this is a lot of multiplayer stuff we're not going to worry about. GPS, space is big. It's very big. It's huge. It's massive. It's huge. If I want to find a specific place again, I can click new from current position. And we'll call this home. Now, when I travel, forgot I didn't have my jetpack on. As I travel away, you'll see that coordinate right there, home. That points at that specific point. It's not just, oh, it's the platform. This is the exact spot I was standing when I set it. I could set another one right here that also says home, or but it's we'll be getting into more of that as we we'll be seeing more of it as we as we progress. For now, though, we're gonna go ahead and keep going. Block group. If I had multiple control panels, I could group them all together, and I'll show you what I'm here. I'll show you what I mean with the lights real quick. Interior light, block group, lights. Now I can select individual lights, or I can select them all, turn them all on and off, or what have you. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep going. Now, let's say you have a light. You don't want to leave it on all the time, but you don't want to have to come all the way over here to the control panel to select. And this gets really annoying when you've got 500 objects and you've got to sit there and scroll all the way down. I mean, you can select the search bar and go like that and say, okay, I want these lights. I'm going to select them all, turn them off. Let's say you don't want to do that. You don't want to have to mess with that. That's what this is for. This is called a button panel. And basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a button panel. It does what it's a button. You hit the button. Remember I was telling you that a lot of things have control panels. Here's what I mean. So I'll go like this, and the control panel on the button terminal works just like any other ones. It just happens to be on a button terminal. But when you access an object-specific control panel, like in this case, the button panel, when I select it, it'll take me straight to what I need. It'll take me to whatever object it's connected to. I suppose probably the best way to say that. we'll go ahead and um, we'll go ahead and set up an action real quick, and I'll show you. We've got all blocks. Now, this is everything that can be turned on and off or adjusted or what have you. We can select groups. We grouped the lights before, so we can select if we wanted to. And I know this looks massive, but this is a lot of this is actually, you know, it's not as bad. It's not as overwhelming as it looks. We'll go ahead and set it to on and off. Now, the three main things we're going to worry about for the next while are going to be basically toggle on and off, toggle on, toggle off, or, you know, a lot of this stuff we're not going to worry about for now. We'll get into it, but not today. For now, we're going to go ahead and select toggle on and off. This selection means one button or sensor, what have you, one activating object will turn it on or turn off. It will, if the light, if like I'm just going to use like the light for this example. If the light is off, it'll turn it on. If the light is on, it will turn it off. Whereas toggle block on, toggle block off, that's all it's going to do. If the light's already on, the toggle block on light's not going to do anything. If the light's off, the toggle block off is not going to do anything. And again, you could set this. I mean, I could set this for you know, the grav generator on and off. You see what I'm saying? But we're going to go ahead just for now. We're going to use lights, and we're going to go ahead and set group on and off. And I'll show you before when we set the group. There we go. Turns all the lights off because all the lights are grouped. But let's say I don't want to turn all the lights off. I just want to turn one light off. I just want one single light to turn off. So go back to setup actions, and then we'll go to button 2. And this way we'll have this one set to toggle on and off. Now, this is nice, like I said, if you're going to be leaving a room, you got one entrance, one exit. You can, you know, just walk in, go, all right, turn everything on, turn everything off, you know, without affecting the rest of your ship. Oh, and one more thing I almost forgot to mention on groups. You don't have to group, like I could group all the lights and the sensor. I could group them together. Call them another group. I could group them together, and objects can be in multiple groups. Again, we'll be getting into this a lot more later. I'm just showing you preliminary, but I can do like another group. Let's go to the button panel, setup actions. We'll set up 3, another group. Now I can have one button turn all the lights and the sensor off. And again, it all depends on what you want to do, and you'll be seeing plenty of examples as we go along, you know, as we build projects together and stuff like that, what things can be done, and you'll, you know, like I said, I'll be trying to show you as many different examples as I possibly can. But moving on, let's say you know you're kind of low on power. You don't want lights just running all the time. Okay, you're in a long corridor. You can build a button panel at one end, turn the lights on, walk all the way down to the other end, and hit the button at the other end and turn all the lights off. But let's say you forget, you know, or you're passing through an area quickly and you don't want to have to stop to turn a light on, to walk to the, you know, just to the other end and turn a light off. And it's just, you don't want to have to worry about having to click switches on and off. You just want to walk through a corridor, have the lights come on when you hit the corridor, have them go off when you leave. That's where the sensor comes in. The sensor will pick up all kinds of stuff. First off, let's go ahead and you can select how far you actually want the sensor to, basically to see, as it were. But you can set it up here. Detect only players. You know, no NPCs, no ships, nothing like that. Detect floating objects. Every time you can set up so every time a piece of trash gets, say, close to a port, a warning light clicks on. Small ships, large ships, stations, subgrids, asteroids, you know, owner, friendly, neutral, enemy. You could have it set up so that, I mean, if I wanted to, I could have it set up so maybe it's attached to a machine gun. that stays off until an enemy enters the corridor. Then the machine gun turns on. And it's all different kinds of stuff. You can do all different kinds of things. You know, like I said, we'll be getting into that, you know, as time goes on. But for now, we'll go ahead and we'll set up actions. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% sure what hide weapon does. I'll be figuring that one out. For now, we're just gonna stick with these first two. The first one is when it senses something, whatever it's set to. In this case, when I walk into its range, you know, it does the first action. When I walk out of its range, it does, in this case, the middle action, the second one. So we want it to turn Interior Light 3 on every time I walk in range, and Light 3 off every time I leave it. So as long as I'm standing right here, I'm within range, and it says, oh, you're within range, you want the light on. But now I walk away, and it says, oh, you're not in range anymore. I don't need the light on. I'm not in that corridor. You know, so you can be walking along, and you can have it set. In this case, I've got it set to a pretty small area, basically like right in front of the sensor. But you can, I mean, you can see how close I have to get. But I can set this thing if I wanted to. We'll go like this. Front extent will extend 4 meters. You know, and I can set. Basically, there's a best way to say it, like a corridor stretching out in front. Say I can have it, and I can, like I said, I can extend this thing, you know, in just about any direction I wanted to. And the nice thing is, you can extend it to the back, which means you could actually have, if you really wanted to, we could do something like this. We'll set that there. There it is. That there. Come on, where are my buttons? There they are. And we'll set come on. Darn it. There we go. Can't see my keyboard today. Alright. Now if I really wanted to, if you wanted to set up something like an ambush for, say, an enemy. Set up actions, interior light. Yeah, I want it to turn on and turn off. Alright, now I just want it to look. Actually, we'll leave that alone. And we'll drop these just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm talking about as I walk past them. And each of these extent, it's which way the sensor extends, like to its left, to its right, to its bottom, to its top. And this is what the demonstration of this is real quick, is the back extent is every time it senses me leave. Come on. I might not have it extended far enough. Hang on a second. I forgot to take into account the there. Go ahead and set. Let's set these up a little bit further too. Apparently, I might not have had them set far enough. All right. Now you'll see that light is off. Now I could have a sensor, if you really wanted to, hidden behind a wall. So it looks really cool as you walk down the wall. Now remember, the sensor back here is only attached to our one light right there, but you could actually have it set up so it's hidden. So as you walk past, boom, turns on. And then when you're out of its range again, it turns back off. And that's some of the cool stuff about Space Engineers that I love. It's just there's so many things you can do. I'm going to show you one more thing. We're not going to get into it today, but I'm going to show you this actually inspired the whole point of this tutorial. This is called a timer block, and I'm sure anybody who plays Space Engineers knows full well what this is. I'm sure a lot of people, I know a lot of people I play with, they're kind of intimidated by this block. And it's not really so much that it's like something really horrible, really powerful, but it can get complicated. And essentially what a timer block does is it will, if you want to set up, say you want to walk down a corridor, but you don't want a light, you have your sensor set up, but you don't want the light to click on, my bird says hi, you don't want the light to click on immediately. You set up a timer block and you can delay it, however long you want. And it's really handy. It's generally not so much something that I worry about when I only need one action done. But there are times when you want to string a whole set of actions together. Maybe you want to depressurize. You want to set warning lights to go off. Then you want a hanger to depressurize. Then you want another set of warning lights to go off. Then you want the doors to open. Well, you could sit there and in a control panel or in buttons or something, you could hit the warning lights, then you could hit the next thing, and then you could hit the buttons in order if you wanted. Or you can set it up with a timer block. You just one button and carefully timed actions go off in whatever order you want them to go in. And like I said, we're not going to worry about it today. We're probably not going to worry too much about it for another episode or two. But the basic premise behind this, or one of the basic premises behind this tutorial is the timer block, is to get good with the timer block. But I think we've gone ahead and covered just about everything we're going to for today in the basics. I'm not going to worry too much about light turned off again. I'm not going to worry too much about come down here, see if our lights will turn on. Oh, that one does, that one didn't. Oh well. I'm not going to worry too much about the construction thing. I figure most people probably know how to construct. If you play Minecraft, you know how to do it in here. So we're going to go ahead and next episode we're going to get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty, a little bit more of the how to start stringing things together, and then maybe introduce some one or two timer blocks just to kind of get an idea of what they look like. And by the time we're done, anybody who's watched it beginning to end, or from whatever point you are to end, you will likely be very good at timer blocks. And I urge all of you, anybody watching this series, to go ahead and maybe pull it up on another computer or on a second screen, on your phone, on a tablet, what have you. Pull it up, have it going, pause it, rewind it, watch the way I do certain things, build along with me. I urge all of you to do that. I want people to be good with timer blocks and with rotors and with pistons and making these cool things. And there's a lot of people who are, but I know, like I said, a lot of people aren't, they for whatever reason. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into that. We're really going to get into that next time. So I will see all of you then. Thank you very much for joining me on this first episode of the Space Engineer tutorial. If anybody has a ship design they've made, they really want to see promoted, send me the link, send me the design. I'll take a look at it. I'll get good with it. Like I said, I'm going to make another series of space with same Space Engineers. I'm going to make another series where it's just ships I build, you build, we all build, just cool stuff, cool things, maybe some cool mods if I come across any. So send them to me. Let me know what you think. Say, hey, I like this ship, I don't like this ship. If you have a problem with something, for like, hey, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I can't get it to work, let me know. I'll see if I can, I'll try to build it here. We'll figure something out. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it recorded. I'll put it up for everybody to see. We'll get your problem solved. I want people to really enjoy this game. I don't want anybody to be intimidated by Space Engineers. It's a fun game, especially if you have people you play with. So, again, thank you for joining me. I will see all of you again in the next episode. This has been Sir Wolf for Black Wolf Gaming. Have a good day. I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to my computer guys, Urban Mining Tech Rescue. They really hooked me up with some new equipment to be able to bring some of these better games to you. I will be including a a link to their website. Now, they are only in the Jacksonville, Florida area, but I suggest go take a look at their website, see what they've got. They'll really hook you up. They hook me up every time. They're my exclusive supplier. So thank you very much, guys at Urban Mining. I really appreciate the help.